Tucked into the rolling hills of Brazelton, Georgia, just across the world-famous Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, Lanier National Speedway carved out a unique place in Southern motorsports history. Opened in 1982 as a red clay oval before being paved in 1987, the 3/8 mile speedway became known for its wide, moderately banked corners, tight competition, and classic Saturday night short track atmosphere. For nearly 3 decades, Lanier tested the region's best in Pro Late models, modifieds, and legend cars, while also serving as an unlikely proving ground for some of iRacing's biggest names. NASCAR champions like Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, and Bobby Labonte all turned laps here, alongside road racing standouts and future stars, giving Lanier a reputation far beyond its modest size. Its location made it a favorite stop for fans and competitors alike, with road racing legends often slipping over from Road Atlanta to witness the raw, fender-to-fender action that defined grassroots stock car racing. Weekly competition ended after the 2011 season, and though the facility was later rebranded as Lanier Raceplex under Jim Downing, efforts to fully revive the speedway have remained largely dormant. Today, while the physical future of Lanier remains uncertain, its legacy lives on through sim racing and the memories of one of Georgia's most beloved bull rings. Tonight, the spirit of Lanier roars back to life. It's the FourWide Motorsports B-Main Podcast 80, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lanier National Speedway for the FourWide Motorsports B-Main Podcast 80. Race 3 about to get underway here tonight. Practice just wrapping up. Before we get too deep into the woods there, let's take a look at the race details. Just a 3/8 mile oval here. Track temperature at 95 degrees. Weather-wise, we're looking 79 degrees Fahrenheit, 68% humidity, partly cloudy skies, 3-mile-per-hour breeze. Nice night for racing, certainly here in Georgia. We've got heat races, a consi, and a feature. Drivers will have a full load of fuel on board and one set of tires if they choose to take it here tonight. Want to take a moment here to thank the sponsors.
Where virtual racing meets real-world style. Gear up with 213 Simware's sim racing apparel. Perfect for representing your favorite league, team, or driver. Contact them at 213simware@gmail.com for inquiries. 213 Simware is the official apparel company for the FourWide Motorsports League. Angry Chef Designs is a premier iRacing paint shop owned and operated by Hunter Carlson, specializing in high-quality custom racing liveries. As the proud sponsor of the FourWide Motorsports Racing League, Angry Chef Designs brings creativity, precision, and passion to every design. From bold, aggressive styles to clean, professional schemes, each paint is crafted to help drivers stand out on track. With a commitment to detail and customer satisfaction, Angry Chef Designs delivers top-tier visuals that match the competitive spirit of sim racing. Eastern Technical Design, Inc. provides design and drafting services for commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Services include architectural renderings, preliminary plan design, as well as final construction drawings. Construction drawings include all necessary structural, building, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical plans as required to produce a finished building and/or structure. This company is owned by Tracy Brown, the producer of our FWM network. If you're in the eastern region of North Carolina, look ETD up for any of your drafting needs. Golden Chef Speed Shop is your go-to iRacing setup shop for fast, affordable performance. Owned and operated by Chris Golden and Hunter Carlson, we're focused on giving every driver a competitive edge without breaking the bank. For just $5 per setup, we deliver reliable, race-ready setups built for consistency, speed, and confidence on track. Whether you're racing for fun or chasing wins, Golden Chef Speed Shop provides quality tuning at the lowest price around. Fast, affordable, competitive. Golden Chef Speed Shop, performance you can trust.
Practice complete here at Lanier. Going to get right into our qualifying session immediately thereafter. Black and red flag on the session. You can see off in the distance there, Road Atlanta in the background there. That's the final corner coming down the hill before start-finish. Let's see who takes to the Speedway first here in qualifying. We'll look actually quickly here at the practice results. Colton Alderman fastest with 13.893. And Steve Luttrell, Scott Shive, Hunter Carlson, Bobby Hall Jr., your top 5. Colton Briner rolling now. First lap in the books for Briner. It's P1, 14.188. Couple of new names here in the session tonight. It's going to kind of throw our timing tower off a little bit. That's all right. We'll get it squared away. Carlson runs P2, 13.843. Steve Luttrell wraps up here 4th quick with an 8.61. Mike Wild now on the Speedway, 16th quick on his first lap. $14.149, now 17th. Dan Worthington now on the clock. Trying to beat a 14.015. At least that was the last lap. Now Shive is a 13.828, so that's incorrect data for whatever reason, but Worthington goes 14.032. Oh, a little loose there off turn number 2. Drivers are going to have their hands full here tonight. Close quarters, tight racetrack. The heats are going to come in handy. So an 0.97, a little slower for Worthington on lap 2. Landon Brown goes up to P6 with an 8.90. And that may do it here for qualifying. It seems just about everybody's gotten their laps in, except for a few drivers. Thomas Hall, Bobby Hall Jr., Ron Walters. Bobby Hall Jr., 21st to take the time here in this qualifying session. Let's see where he locks in. Off turn 4, crosses the stripe. Very quickly goes P10, 13.907 for Bobby Hall Jr. Going to give it a go here, try to improve. $13.868 moves Bobby up to 6th. 13.828, the top time. Scott Shive, and Walters disappears from view. Severe connection issue, it seems, for Walters as he has left the session. Qualifying continuing here, still about a minute left. I don't think he can reload fast enough to get a crack here. Oh, there he's back. Okay. Real loose off of 2. Now, it may not give him a time there. He might not have been on track long enough, or at least with a reliable internet connection to log an official lap. We'll see if he gets one here. '22nd, 14.078. It did invalidate lap number 1, so one of the slowest drivers to take a time here. That connection issue certainly not helping his cause. With 30 seconds or so left in the qualifying session, that's going to do it, and that will likely give Scott Shive pole position here tonight. Still got to work through these heats, though. It's not a one and done straight into the feature with P1. That's it. Qualifying complete here at Lanier. Scott Shive was the fastest in qualifying, but it's time for our heat. So let's get a look at our starting grid. Starting first in this first heat is going to be Scott Shive. Gavin Grubbs will start to the outside. Row 2, it's Landon Brown and Antonio Mancini. Row 3 belongs to Wes Wiegand and Colton Briner. Thomas Hall and Ron Walters rounding out the final and fourth row here for heat number 1, about to get underway. Quick 10-lap heats. They'll roll through them in a hurry, and some good-looking race cars here on the grid as we roll out one of 2 pace laps. It's a perfect little racetrack, isn't it? Nothing screams grassroots like Lanier. Pace car heads to pit lane. Green is in the air. We're underway. Shive leads him out of turn number 2. Landon Brown and Grubbs side by side for the second spot. Leading them back around the 3/8 mile oval here at Lanier. Lap 1 in the book. Scott Shive will lead it still side by side for the second spot. It's Brown and Grubbs. Brown takes it over here, gets clear of the number 26 machine, hangs on to that second spot in a Leadfoot TV Chevrolet. Behind them, though, good battle with Wes Wiegand. Antonio Mancini now side by side. Mancini in the number 24. He'll tuck in behind, though. Wiegand takes the spot, now looks back to the bottom of the racetrack, goes the 24. Switches it up, crosses over, might have the spot on exit. No, now Wiegand gets into the wall. Wiegand, real late entry, opens up the bottom now for the 24 of Mancini. Mancini gets around, not quite clear, but now already back in the corner is Colton Briner now on the attack. Meanwhile, Shive out to the race lead here, hotly contested. Landon Brown just a half car length off the back bumper, coming to 3 laps to go. Wiegand eventually losing the spot to Mancini. Wiegand back to 5th. Colton Briner 6th. Thomas Hall in the 7th spot. Ron Walters had a troublesome qualifying effort. He's at the back of this first heat. Coming to the white flag. Shive looks like he'll hang on here. 3/10 back to Landon Brown. And that's it. Checker flag in the books. Quick 10 laps here at Lanier. Plenty of action to be had. Scott Shive with the victory. And how quickly the heat results disappear. Now for our starting grid that also won't work. It's something to do with the heats. This is the only broadcast I'm having these issues with week in and week out. It's not that we don't like heats. We love them. But for some reason, SDK not cooperating with it. Now it's okay. So here we go, our starting grid for heat number 2. Hunter Carlson, Golden Chef Speed Shop number 32 will start on the front row. Steve Luttrell will roll off to the outside. Starting in the second row, it's Hayden Bloomer and Troy Campbell. Row 3, Charles Oberg and Daniel Jones. The final row, it's Robert Eversole and Yogi Shalier. Still think I'm messing that up, and I've been told how to say it. I just cannot commit it to memory yet. Sun setting here in Georgia. It'll cool the track temps a bit. Should pick up the pace of these cars, add a little bit of grip to the racetrack. Pace car lights are out. We'll be racing the next time by. Field in 3 and 4, quickly coming back to the starter stand. Barty with the green in hand.
Green flag.
Pace cars in. We're racing again in heat number 2. Off turn 4, lap 1 of the books. Hunter Carlson will take the top spot. And it's Luttrell, Bloomer, Campbell, Oberg, Eversole, Jones, and Schlier. Much different looking heat here. Everyone seemingly happy to run single file. Only change of position so far is Robert Eversole and Dan Jones. Eversole up to P6. But the battle for the lead still hotly contested. Luttrell all over the back bumper of Hunter Carlson. Yogi Shalier having a problem. Might have been a simple spin, but he is way off the pace now, back in the 8th position. Finished deep in this heat. Meanwhile, coming to 3 laps to go, it's Hunter Carlson, Steve Luttrell checking out from 3rd place, Hayden Bloomer. Two laps to go at Lanier. Carlson's led them all. White flag, final lap. Carlson leads them all en route to the victory here in the second heat. Oh, and the 77 goes around. Charles Oberg spinning down with the 17 of Daniel Jones. Good news is, folks, they don't need to worry about fixing these machines. Now to the 3rd heat of the night. I told you we're going to click these things off in a hurry. Starting first, the number 9 of Colton Alderman. Outside front row will be Bobby Hall Jr. from Flex Motorsports. Then it's Frank Wade and Dallas Sunderman. Row 3 will be Brad Young and Drew King. Row 4, Dan Worthington and Mike Wild. pace car to pit lane.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. Heat 3 underway. Bobby Hall Jr., Colton Alderman out front. They were 3 wide behind him for a moment. The 34 gets crossed up and around goes the 89 of Brad Young. Trying to get it righted here off turn number 2. Spins it around, dumps the clutch, and back in action here, but he's likely going to finish this one where he runs in 8th unless something crazy happens up front. Leader's already starting to run him down. It does not take long. Alderman and Hall Jr. 1 and 2. Frank Wade runs in the 3rd spot. Wade putting pressure on the back bumper of the 94. Drew King was involved in that incident with Brad Young. Oh, real loose off turn number 2. Frank Wade hanging on to it. Four laps to go here at Lanier in the 3rd heat of the night. Alderman, like many others, has led it from the drop of the green flag. Mike Wild, really the only driver that's gained any positions tonight. Brad Young lost 3 and Wild gained 3. Man, Wade is driving it so deep on entry, but loses up a lot of that ground on exit. Closes the gap within a car length, and you see when they get out of the corner, Alderman and Hall start to drive away, but we're coming to the final lap here. Alderman with the lead. Bobby Hall Jr., his car's starting to come in. Oh, a little bit of contact. Hall down on the apron, now coming to the white flag. Final lap. Frank Wade going to try and take advantage. If Hall makes another mistake, he's going to likely settle for 2nd here. Coming back to start-finish to finish off the heat. Number 9 of Alderman wins. Brad Young backwards again here at start-finish. Alderman wins the heat. So finishing order was Alderman, Bobby Hall Jr., Frank Wade, your top 3 as we get into our consi now. Let's take a look at the starting grid for our consolation race that is once again not working. There we go. Front row, it's going to be Colton Briner, Dan Jones. Row 2, Dan Worthington and Ron Walters. Row 3, it'll be Yogi Schlier and Brad Young. Only a 6-car heat for the consi. A little more room out there. We're running this one 15 laps. Race 3, or Heat 3 results was Colton Alderman, Bobby Hall Jr., Frank Wade, Dallas Sunderman, Mike Wild, Drew King, Dan Worthington, and Brad Young. Brad, unfortunately, having some troubles out there in heat number 3. He'll finish a lap down. Brad Young will have another crack at it, though, in that number 89 machine. The white and yellow Pepsi colors to the outside, and I wonder what he's trying to do up there. Trying to get some heat in the tires. Pace car heads to pit lane. Green flag is in the air. Briner leads them back to start finish. Worthington a few feet off the back bumper, then Dan Jones in P3. Worthington taking a peek to the bottom there. He's trying to get into the mirror of Colton Briner here. 11 laps to go. Sun starting to peek out through the hills here in Georgia. Shadows getting a little bit longer. Let's ride on board with Dan Worthington. Yeah, Worthington's just a tick faster, but it is hard to pass on these little bull rings. Worthington now got some company. Dan Jones got a nose alongside here as we're just past halfway in this consi. 6 to go now. Some pretty quick drivers here in this consi. Everybody except for Ron Walters below 14-second laps here. That's about where they were running in qualifying. Top three nestled together here. Anything could happen. 3 laps to go. I really think Jones has got something for Worthington here. If he can put it together, he can pick up that second spot. Worthington, though, going to pin it to the bottom, try to keep him behind him. Wants to at least finish second here. White flag, final lap. Worthington catches the wall here, now into 3 and 4 for the final time. Back to start finish. Briner will win the consi. Worthington P2, Jones 3rd. Brad Young will be 4th, Yogi Schlier 5th, and Ron Walters will be in the 6th position. But now it is time for our feature event here tonight in the B-Main Podcast 80 from Lanier National Speedway. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position, the number 87 of Scott Shive with Hunter Carlson, Golden Chef Speed Shop number 32 to the outside. Row number 2, it's Colton Alderman in the 9. Landon Brown will be to his right elbow. Row 3, it's Stephen Littrell and Bobby Hall Jr. Row 4, it's Gavin Grubbs and Hayden Bloomer. Row 5 belongs to Frank Wade and Antonio Mancini. Troy Campbell rolls off from the 11th spot. Dallas Sunderman will be 12th. 13th starter, it's Wes Wiegand. Charles Oberg, 14th. 15th starter, it's Mike Wild. 16th belongs to Thomas Hall. Robert Eversole will start 17th. Drew King, 18th. 19th position, Colton Briner from FourWide Motorsports, and shotgun on the field, the 08. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Worthington was quick in his heats tonight, but he'll start in the 20th and final position from Flex Motorsports. Your starting grid here from Lanier. Field begins to roll. One of 2 pace laps before we get 80 laps of racing underway here at Lanier. Green flag is in the air. Shive, Carlson off turn 4 on the gas into turn 1. Shive gets clear, takes the top spot, a little bit of contact in the wall. The 9 might be going around and straightens it out. Colton Alderman almost loses it there off turn number 2, but back around to start finish. Shive will lead lap number 1. Alderman hangs on to a position inside the top 5 with Stephen Luttrell still working to his outside. Shive continues to lead. Carlson second, then it's Luttrell, Alderman, and Bobby Hall Jr. the top 5. Now the 5 machine, Landon Brown, putting pressure on Bobby Hall. And we got a spinner.
Hey man, your mic sounds like a little far away from your mouth again. Just double check that for us.
Mike Wild appears to have gone around, I believe, here. Let's take a look here what happened to the 00 machine. Shows Mike Wild crashed here at lap 4. Let's see what happens here into turn 3. Yeah, rear end starts to step out, catches it a little bit up the racetrack. Now a tank slap as the 14 gets to the inside and finishes the job. That's Colton Briner. Round he goes. Maybe a little tiny scrape of the inside pit wall. Nothing but hurt feelings here.
Going next time. Going next time.
Pace car lights were out. They've waved it off here. The 00 going to park it into turn 3 here. I think he's just going to put himself to the back of the field. So we waved off the restart. Now we get the 1 to go yet again. So in less than 3/8 of a mile, we'll be back underway here at Lanier.
Green.
Shive will lead him down into 1 again. Luttrell and Carlson side by side for the second spot. Don't sleep on the 36 machine of Steve Luttrell. He's been fast all season long, just looking for an opportunity to park it in victory lane. Battling with Carlson for the second spot. Carlson in the black and purple number 32 Cadillac scrapes the wall off exit at turn number 2. Still not quite done here. Luttrell not able to clear. Now he's clear into turn number 1. Maybe a crossover. No, he slams the door at the bottom of the racetrack. Carlson now under fire for Bobby Hall Jr. and Colton Alderman. Carlson now to the outside of Bobby Hall Jr. Bobby, little rotation there, exit at turn number 2, keeps it to the bottom of the racetrack. Top 2 single file, now out of turn number 4. Bobby Hall Jr. very loose on exit in that low lane, but it's making it work here as now he gets clear of Carlson. Hunter Carlson's got to find a way to get down as the 72 of Troy Campbell goes around off turn 2. Many drivers involved here. Looks like everybody's going to drive away from the scene, but there you go. Caution number 2 on the Speedway here at Lanier. Let's take a look. Oh, big time impact. Got the rear wheels of Campbell right off the ground. We'll back it up a little further here and get a second look here. Chain reaction. Watch the 5 there. I think that's Landon Brown. And Campbell just gets in a little too hot. He checks up hard to avoid running over Landon. Landon gets a little bit of contact there, but I think he's able to hang on to it. But then the 24 of Antonio Mancini, hard on the gas, sends the 72 up the racetrack in the path of Gavin Grubbs. And then a lot of these drivers just going to pile on in after the fact. Yeah, chain reaction there off of 2. So Grubbs will take it to pit lane here. Maybe some suspension damage on that number 26. Maybe just a quick checkout. He was not there long. Pace car lights are out, ready for the restart here at Lanier. Pace car is in. Shive and Luttrell on the front row. Shive fires off. Luttrell, not a bad reaction. Single file, the top 2. Bobby Hall Jr. running in third. Behind them, a lot of action, though. Frank Wade and Hunter Carlson. Carlson real loose on the exit of turn number 2. He's going to give up some spots here. Open the door. Thought they were going to go 3 wide with Colton Alderman and Landon Brown. Now it's just Landon Brown to the inside of Carlson. Battles behind them. Alderman and Bloomer side by side as well. It's side by side all the way back to 3/4 of this field. Robert Eversole working his way through. Man, he has gained 10 positions from the drop of the green flag. Another notable driver, Dan Worthington, as there's trouble now off turn number 2. We were just going to start talking about him. Worthington was up 9 positions. And now he is involved in this incident on the exit of turn number 4. There's the 10 going around, and just another chain reaction. This place is tight and fast. Not a lot of time to make a reaction to the brake pedal here. Unfortunately, it's going to collect a few drivers. Worthington being one of them. Colton Briner another. One more lap around, should be on the one to go the next time by. Pace car comes to pit road. Green back in the air. Shive has been lights out on the restart so far tonight. But Luttrell doing a damn good job hanging with the 87. Gets clear of 3rd and 4th. And they bang fenders. Bobby Hall Jr. And we have another caution.
Talk to me, Goose. What do you got?
Worthington involved in this one again. So is Mike Wild. Oh, contact there with 34 of Drew King. We'll back this up a little further, see more of the story. Worthington was up the racetrack. I don't know if he saw something he didn't like, was trying to avoid being involved in some chaos. Unfortunately, it met him at the driver's door, or the left rear for that matter, as the 00 off Mike Wild up the racetrack spins around Worthington. Worthington's just going to get some frustration out of this. He's going to get a little bit of impact to the wall there. I'm surprised he didn't hold the brake down. I don't know if his foot slipped off the pedal or what, but either way, still backs it up into the fence. Worthington still shown in the 17th position. Running out of time. I know we got an 80-lap feature here tonight. We're already 31 laps in. So we're on the one to go. We'll get the restart lap 33. We are going to take a quick side-by-side break once we're past halfway, so stay with us for that.
Green flag, green flag.
Green back in the air. You won't miss any of the racing. It'll just be on a smaller screen. Let's move closer to the TV. Frank Wade, though, has battled himself up to we alongside Steve Luttrell for the second spot. 42 has been shown to be real fast here tonight. Let's see if he can hang on to it. Maybe take the spot here from Luttrell. Almost clear, but not quite. We'll see if he can get him down in 3. Landon Brown now working his way into this battle as well. Wade almost clear, but Luttrell still not willing to give up. Luttrell really strong through turns 1 and 2. Keeps the nose just enough alongside of the right rear quarter of Wade. Coming back around to start finish. Luttrell hanging on to it, but now Landon Brown applying pressure to the low side of the racetrack. Oh, they're going to come close there. Almost contact as they head into turns 3 and 4. Wade is looking aggressive in the rearview mirror of Scott Shive. Shive in the fence. Scott might have been in the rearview mirror, keeping an eye on the 42 of Frank Wade. Now the battle continues behind him, Landon Brown and Steve Luttrell. Just past halfway, and the caution comes out. Wes Wiegand has gone around here off turn number 2, midway down the back straightaway. The 88 in trouble here at Lanier. Let's take a look what just happened. Watch the blue and white 88 machine into turns 1 and 2 here. Does he have help? Looks like he's going to. 14 gets into him just a tick. Colton Briner sends the 88 around off turn number 2, put us under caution for the 5th time tonight. With that, we're going to take the opportunity. We're going to go side by side right now, burn up some of these caution laps. You'll see the restart in the side by side, but we'll be back right after this. Stay with us. You won't miss a moment. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to
Green
all
flag.
auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Lanier, and just like that, the caution is back out, comes out very late. The field, the leaders now just coming into the scene, and they send Wiegand up in front of the race leader. That was close quarters. The 10 bouncing off of multiple drivers here after the caution has come out. Hayden Bloomer maybe losing his mind here after that one. Might have been just a little bit of the fray there, trying to get out of the way. The leaders almost made it worse there. Let's see if we can unpack this and see what brought out the yellow. Go back here, watch Hayden Bloomer. So he's out of turn 4 right here. Again, such a short racetrack. The replay takes us back here quite a ways prior to the event itself, but it happens in a hurry. The 77 and the 72 come together, and then everybody else stacks up after that. Bloomer into the back of the 77, and once again, a chain reaction crash off turn number 2. 6, 7, maybe 8 cars involved in this one. And then watch this here. Watch the 10. There's the leader. No, that's the 26. Here's the leaders coming through. That was close call for Scott Shive. Let's take a look. We'll watch it again here. We'll go on board with Shive. Wreck already happened here, and there he just rolls into a parking lot. Oh, that was close. So working caution number 6 here at Lanier in the B-Main Podcast 80. Scott Shive is your leader and I think he's led them all to this point. Landon Brown running second. Frank Wade, Hunter Carlson, Steve Luttrell in the top 5. Then keep an eye on Robert Eversole. He's made his way well through this field as we're getting set for green flag racing yet again. Look at these guys. They're beating on each other down the backstretch. Under caution, Shive and Brown. Trading paint before we're racing. Pace car heads to pit road. Green flag back in the air. Shive fires off. Brown gets to the right rear just a touch. Shive will carry the lead and get clear of the 5 through turns 1 and 2. Up the racetrack goes the 87. Now swapping over to the bottom side. Landon Brown putting pressure on for the race lead. First time we've seen it tonight. 24 laps to go. Brown now stalking the 87 to Scott Shive for the top spot here at Lanier. Scott told us last week he loves this place. We'll see if he can get it done and park it in victory lane tonight. But he's got his hands full in the 5 of Landon Brown. Shive using a really late exit. Early exit for that matter. Opening it up a little bit before Landon Brown, trying to get on the throttle a little bit sooner than the 5. So far, it's working. But for how long? One car crossed up. It's the 9 of Colton Alderman. Straightens it back out. Leaning on the 08 of Worthington. Things settling down here in the top 6 or 7 cars. Shive, Brown, Wade, Carlson, Luttrell, your top 5. Further back, though, a side-by-side fight now between Worthington and Colton Alderman. These guys have been trading paint for quite a bit here the last couple of laps. A little bit more contact. Worthington with a run to the outside. Oh, Campbell has to check up hard as Worthington forced his way to the bottom. 16 to go here at Lanier. It's been shy from the drop of the green flag. Still out front, the 87 in charge. Landon Brown second. Frank Wade runs in the third spot. He's put on the power here late. Frank Wade up in from the 9th position, running third. Again, Robert Eversole started 17th. He's inside the top 10 in the 7th position. And Dan Worthington started 20th. Shotgun on the field. He's been around a couple of times here tonight and still running inside the top 10 in that 10th position. He's going to be wondering what could have been without those problems here tonight. Keep an eye on Worthington the rest of this season. Oberg is around, off turn number 2, gathers it up. Back on throttle here, we should stay green here. Leader's going to come into the frame. Oberg up the track, leaves the bottom open. Plenty of room for everybody to get around. But Landon Brown all over the back bumper of Shive. Caution out late here. Bobby Hall Jr. in trouble. Doesn't appear to be any damage, well, maybe a little on the right front there for Bobby Hall Jr. Able to drive away from the scene. Let's see what happened. Oh, contact with Colton Alderman. I'm going to back this up further, maybe get a better angle on it. That's a tough one. Alderman was right down the bottom of the racetrack, had the left front sitting on that yellow line. There was still contact, but I got to kind of put that one on Bobby there. I don't know if he got a little over-rotated and came down a quarter of a lane, made some contact with the 9, and around Bobby Hall Jr. goes. So caution number 7 here as we're running towards the end. B-Main Podcast 80 here at Lanier National Speedway, presented by FourWide Motorsports. 80 laps the scheduled distance. There is an opportunity for a green-white checkered finish if necessary. About to get the restart here. We lap 76, so 5-lap shootout to settle it here at Lanier. And once again, Landon Brown rubbing fenders with the 87. Got to be careful not to cut a tire down.
Green flag.
Maybe the final restart here. And trouble! Sean is in the fence and a big wreck in turn number 1. Troy Campbell trying to get righted here. Many drivers, Troy Campbell, Dallas Sunderman, Hayden Bloomer, Charles Oberg, all involved. And the 42 of Frank Wade will inherit the race lead. Oh boy, oh boy. Let's take a look what just happened. You saw Landon Brown roughing up Shive during the caution last couple of times. Coming back to start finish, and before they even get to start finish, there's contact there. Brown sends Shive up the racetrack into the fence. Now, I don't know if Shive was coming up the racetrack, not realizing he was not clear. We'll see if we can catch a better angle on this. Yeah, it looks like Shive was trying to come up the racetrack just a touch. This might be our best angle. There it is. There. Trying to get you guys the best stop angle here. There's your contact right there. Almost on his lid, up on one wheel there for Shive. That's tough. So, on the one to go, now the front row is changed. It's going to be Hunter Carlson, Frank Wade. Frank Wade will be the control car. And then Steve Luttrell, Antonio Mancini in the second row.
Green flag.
Looks like Bobby Hall Jr. stranded. Or maybe it was Wes Wiegand. White flag, though. Final lap here from Lanier. This is our green-white checkered attempt. Here we go. Battle for the race lead. Wade, Carlson, side by side. Off turn number 2. Still side by side. No, that was checkered flag, and Wade will win it by 41 thousandths of a second over Hunter Carlson. What a finish here at Lanier. Frank Wade picks up the win. Led only 5 laps, but it was the ones that mattered. Smacks the wall for good luck. Parks it here on the front stretch here at Lanier, picking up the race win here tonight. Job well done by Frank Wade. Started in the 9th position and drove it to victory. We're going to step aside here, get a short break out of the way, and hopefully have our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. But man, victory slipping out of the grasp of Scott Shive or Landon Brown here late at Lanier, and Frank Wade, the beneficiary. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Lanier, the B-Man Podcast 80 at Lanier National Speedway in the books, and what a thrilling finish we had here tonight. A dominant Scott Shive, unfortunately, does not get to see that checkered flag first. He'll finish in the 8th position after a late race restart. Ends his night a little bit early, but the beneficiary of that was Frank Wade. He picks up the race win here tonight. Let's see if we can get a word with our race winner and pull Frank up into the broadcast booth. Frank and Steve with Track Limits Network. You got a copy? Frank, you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Frank, congratulations, man. A 9th place starting position in the feature. Watched you throughout the night in the heat races. You were a very racy machine out there. Once you got an opportunity, you took full advantage of it. Obviously, Scott Shive, one of the dominant cars here tonight. Him and Landon Brown come together late. You pick up the scraps, and then you hold off Hunter Carlson for the race win. Walk us through your race tonight. I know we had a handful of cautions, but this place is tough. 3/8 of a mile, not a lot of room to really get around and race, and a hard place to pass at. How'd you get it done?
Honestly, I just followed the car in front of me. He took me to the front, and I just followed him to the front. And then I just kind of ran my race after that. After they went caution there at the green-white checker, I just kind of stayed in my zone and locked into the end.
Well, certainly an impressive run here tonight. Obviously, I don't think anybody really bothered with tires tonight. You guys get one set, but it seems that the Hoosier tires, they hold up very well, especially over multiple heat cycles. Was that something that was considered tonight here at Lanier, or just planning on running this whole 80-lap feature on one set?
My plan was just to run it on the 80, all 80 on one set. It was definitely getting loose towards the end, but I kept her in line and kept her straight.
Job well done.
I got sideways a little bit and then just kept her straight as I could.
Well, job well done here tonight. Sobo next week. Going to have some fried bologna sandwiches, but how do you set yourself up for the racing out at South Boston next week?
Same as I did today, just stay in my zone and some good lap times in.
All right, Frank. Well, congratulations picking up the race win here at Lanier. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Robert Eversole.
All right.
He's pretty good. He's a pretty good coach.
Robert Eversole had a strong night here tonight. Started deep in the field, worked his way through up into a 4th place finish. But if he's the coach, I can see why he had a solid night. So congratulations, Frank. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck next week at South Boston.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Frank Wade, your race winner here at Lanier. Next, we'll talk to the driver, the number 32, Hunter Carlson. Started second, finished second. See what he has to say. Hunter, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Yes, I do.
Hunter, congratulations, man. It's probably a somewhat frustrating night. It's hard to say that about a second-place finish, but you started second, you finished second, you had a very fast race car all throughout the heats and the feature. Walk us through the night here tonight. What was really the difference maker, especially late here when Shive and Landon Brown came together?
A lot of it was I couldn't catch the break. It seemed like first half of the race just kept restarting on the top. And the bottom was just so much better through that first part of the race. Around the last 20 laps or so, the top really started to come in. And then that whole kerfluffle happened at the second to last restart. I still don't know what happened there. I need to go back and look at it. Didn't know how bad the car was. So I was a little worried about what I was going to do on that last restart. But thankfully it wasn't too tight. And I was able to hold it on the top, at least try to maintain position there.
Tell us about this track here at Lanier. We saw what we saw, but it seemed like at least one run that we had here tonight, you did get stuck on the outside, as you mentioned, and you just kind of free-falled until you could find an opportunity to get to the bottom. Is the outside lane, up until it came in, really kind of like a death sentence, so to speak?
Yeah, for sure. Just the way how wide the arc is. for the entry is on this track. It's just you gotta pinch them so hard to be able to keep the be able to slow their momentum down to be able to get a run off the corner. That if you don't have that top rubbered in, it's gonna be like looking like Martinsville or Old Bristol. You're just gonna be going backwards.
Well, you held on there still with a runner-up finish here tonight at Lanier as we roll into South Boston next week. Another tricky, small racetrack. How do you get set for possibly a victory there next week?
Really just laps. I'm still learning these late model stocks. They're a lot of fun, but Sobo's a completely different animal. Both ends of the track are completely different, so you're gonna have to try to figure out how to get around both of them, and you're gonna have to try to figure out how to pass cleanly there, and especially with us going to no fast repairs the rest of the season. And it's gonna be really interesting to see how that race goes, and I can't wait to get some laps going on it.
Well, Hunter, we're certainly looking forward to it. A job well done here tonight at Lanier. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Tracy Brown with Eastern Technical Designs. Thank you, buddy, for everything you do. I want to thank Golden Chef Speed Shop for supplying the sets for this series and every series in FourWide Motorsports. The set was awesome in the night. I want to thank everyone over at FourWide Motorsports Network for everything they do and everything, allowing me to admin this thing and have a lot of fun. Want to thank really Colton for being my other eyes out there tonight with the other admin with Wayne working nights. I want to thank Wayne for everything he does, and I know he's still watching, and we'll try to keep getting this thing cleaner every week.
Well, it's getting better and better each and every week. This is definitely one I look forward to. Short track racing at its best. Hunter, thanks for talking to us, man. Congrats on the runner-up finish here at Lanier. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
It's Hunter Carlson, runner-up here tonight in the B-Main Podcast 80 from Lanier. Next, we'll talk to our third place finisher, the number 36, Stephen Luttrell, who has been popping up all over the place here in the Track Limits Network land, whether it's a PSRA Open Truck Series, the IROC Challenge Series, but also here in the FourWide Motorsports Late Model Stock Series. It's Steve Luttrell. It's Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy?
I do. What's going on, Steve?
Steve, congratulations, man. Third place finish here. Started fifth. Strong car all night. You really battled hard for those guys. A lot of side-by-side racing each and every lap, at least while we were under green. Walk us through the event here tonight from your perspective. What was the key to success in picking up that third place finish tonight?
Well, restarts. It's all restarts. If you can restart on the inside or not, it's just luck of the draw getting that there. But if you can hang out on the outside long enough, you can find a spot to fall down in. But yeah, it's like Bristol or Martinsville. Once you get stuck on the outside, you're going backwards. But you can sometimes pinch the guy down and try to ruin his line and not let him run up to the wall or run all the way down and get a spot from him. But yeah, this place is tough.
So it's safe to say that the outside lane is like racing with the grand piano tied to the back bumper?
Sometimes it does feel like that. You just, once one guy passes you, five of them are going to.
Yeah, we did see some of that here tonight, especially with Hunter Carlson in a couple of instances. But now we look forward to South Boston next week, going to Sobo. What's different about that place compared to here at Lanier? How do you prepare yourself to run a solid race, maybe improve the finishing position, maybe even pick up a win?
Well, it's going to come down to qualifying. I think we're going to have to qualify up front and, finish first in the heat, really, to get front row up there. But it's going to be more of the same. Just inside row is going to take over, and outside row is going to go backwards. But it's a lot fast. It feels a lot faster because it's just a tiny bit smaller. But yeah, it's that track's tough. You got to learn two different ends to it and learn how to stay on the gas while on the brake. That's the trick. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
A little bit of trail braking at Sobo. All right, Steve, congratulations, man. Third place finish here tonight. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
FourWide Motorsports for having me out here, and you putting on the broadcast, Track Limits Network. I always got to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, my wife, my kids, and that's about it.
All right, Steve, thanks for chatting with us. Good luck at Sobo.
All right, thank you.
Steve Luttrell, third place here at Lanier. That'll do it for the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. I want to make note here, Wayne Cannon in the chat says, it's a go. Track Limits will do our Indy 500 I'll get with you on the full details. And that Indy 500 that we speak of, coming up May the 23rd, that is Indy 500 weekend, so we're looking forward to that. It used to be, was it Redneck Christmas with at Formula One in the morning at Monaco, then Indy, and then the Coke 600. Unfortunately, I don't think Monaco is on that day anymore, but either way, Indy 500 weekend, it's going to be a blast. May 23rd, though, for the FWM Iracing Indy 500. It is a Indy 500. That's going to be a fun one. There's cash payouts, fixed setups, so you don't have to worry about dialing in something in. It's just about talent out there, but limited to 25 drivers. The spots are going to fill up fast, so if you're interested in running in that Indy 500, it will be broadcast here at Track Limits Network in its entirety. One of the very rare weekend broadcasts that we will air here at Track Limits, so tune in for that. We'll get the details out for it. But if you're interested in racing, check these guys out. Touch base with Wayne. They'll get you squared away. Really looking forward to that. Schedule-wise, moving on to next week. Of course, South Boston, we're going to do more heats, more LCQ, more 80-lap feature. And now they got 2 sets of tires out at Sobo. It's very interesting to me. They had, it says 2 sets of tires on the schedule. I think it was actually only 1. But I don't think anybody took tires here tonight. So we might see more of the same next week, though. There are 2 sets sitting there. So looking forward to that. Sobo, I might even have a fried bologna sandwich for dinner that night just to make it a little more authentic. Then on to North Wilkesboro, Hickory, Lucas Oil Raceway Park. That's always a great one out at IRP. Thompson Raceway. I'm really excited that they put that on the schedule. Martinsville, kind of a no-brainer. Irwindale, Myrtle Beach, New Smyrna, Five Flags, and closing out the season at the fairgrounds in Nashville. A brilliant schedule laid out for FourWide Motorsports, the Monday Night Late Model Stocks Tour. I don't know, just stick around. Be here at Track Limits Network. Watch all the action unfold here every Monday night. Thank you guys for tuning in here tonight. Stream chat a little light this evening. Let's kind of work on that for next week. I love the interaction. If you guys can jump in there, tell us who you're cheering for. Give your criticisms. As long as we keep it PG for the kids, I'm a happy guy. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you at the next one. Next one for us, tomorrow night, Tuesday, the iRock Challenge Series. Tune in for it. About 9:15, we'll be live on the air. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.